One of the most valuable assets that we, as humans, have is a home. A home provides the comfort, space, and familiarity that takes away the stress and sorrow one has been dealt with throughout the day. Oftentimes, a home is not the place where you sleep, but rather where you can be your true self. A place where you could cry without judgment. An environment that engulfs you around those you cherish the most. Yes, sometimes that space doesn't include your family, but rather friends or even objects that ignite a warmth in your chest just from its presence. It doesn't have to be a building. I won't judge if it isn't. However, it is for the best. A home should be a place that provides shelter from the dangers outside, whether that be harmful weather conditions or strangers that seek to cause harm. That home should protect you. Unless it fucking can't. So, as one does to aim for greater self-fulfilling accomplishments as time passes, I gave myself a New Year's resolution for our current year of 2024. Rather than aim for something dumb like losing 20 pounds, drafting an entire book, or successfully launching my Patreon, I created a backlog bingo. Now, for some, the title Backlog Bingo sounds self-explanatory. However, I'm still going to explain, not just to ensure that everyone is on the same page, but to give credit where it's due. Like many other video game lovers, I own dozens to hundreds of titles with still only so much time in my life. This creates what is known as a backlog, the bucket load of titles within your library that have yet to see the light of play or that you have only just begun to make your way through before setting back down on the shelf. All of that money gone to consuming my physical and digital spaces. Thus, this is where the Backlog Bingo Challenge comes in. I actually found out about this from a few friends posting this video in a Discord server I'm in, and I immediately fell in love with the idea. But rather than having myself go on about his explanation, I'll let Canopus Invoke and his charm do the work.
Recently, people on Twitter have been doing this thing where they're assembling these 5x5 grids to create a list of 25 games to get to know them, or just their favorite games. Basically, the point is you assemble a list of games and it kind of reveals to you the person's taste making the list, or just what their preferences are, favorite games, stuff that means a lot to them, that sort of thing. Pretty fun, wholesome thing that I've loved to see going around. I'm very interested in seeing everyone's list. Here's mine in case you're interested. Anyways, that's enough of that. But while seeing all of this going down on Twitter, I did see someone retweet a person who used this website to create a list of 25 games that they have not played yet, but just based off of their aesthetic appeal or the vibes alone they wanted to play. And I thought, oh shit, that's a pretty smart idea there. That person hit onto something that I think we could all use, and that is that we could maybe use this tool to assemble a bingo sheet to create a more structured and organized way to get through all of our backlogs, because, I just think you get into this hobby for long enough, you're going to start to accumulate games that you just have always meant to play, and you just don't quite get around to.
Now, here's my bingo with the accompanying rules and consoles that I went with. As you can see, for my categories, I went with consoles that I wanted to really play through, as well as potentially create videos about in the future. Thus, I went PC, Switch, PS3, PS2, and then made my final category games that I started but was so early in that I basically am picking it up to truly begin my playthrough. In such cases, that was World End Syndrome and Near Replicant. Additionally, the self-imposed rules that I set was that a series could not be repeated, and I couldn't repeat a genre on the same platform. So if I already have a JRPG on the PS2, I can't pick another one on the PS2. And from all the games that I've picked, based upon how long to beat, the total amount of time it would take for me to beat all of these titles would be 486.5 hours. That is about an 18th of the total amount of hours within 2024. So surely, with 1,440 hours having passed in our year of 2024, as of me writing this, I've gotten through the majority of these titles, right? Surely. Yeah, aside from being busy with quite a number of illustrations and videos for Source Gaming, most of my time gaming has been dedicated to games that I've shamefully and shamelessly plunged tens to hundreds of hours in, as well as picking up one new fighting game. However, I did spend quite a lot of worthwhile time trying out several upcoming games such as Roland Rascal, whose Kickstarter you should support of if it is still open by the time of this video, Children of the Sun, Telebit, Star Racer, and a few others. Their demos should all be available, so check Steam if any of these games look interesting to you. Anyways, back to my backlog. Of the games on my list, I've only finished 2 so far, Nier Replicant and IAVT Colorful, with a few caveats. For Nier Replicant, I started playing before 2024, right before Christmas time to be exact, as 2B was announced for Grand Blue Fantasy vs Rising, so that encouraged me to finally dive full into Nier, rather than continuing my playthrough of Drakengard 1, which I did enjoy playing. As for IAVT Colorful, well, first off, I had no idea Vita emulation was available and also quite successful. Also, the fact that IAVT, this Japan-only rhythm game based on my favorite Vocaloid, has an English translation patch was even more surprising. Definitely check it out, and also the First Place IA albums, in addition to Kagura Project. Moving back to the caveats at hand though, I'd consider beating a rhythm game the act of unlocking and playing every song at least once. However, I played IAVT until I unlocked one of my favorite songs of all time, Overslept by Neru. It's fast paced with desolate feeling vocals that just feel incredibly inspiring and energetic to me. While the IA version is great, I suggest everyone listen to the Kagamain Ren and Len version of the song on Neru's Sekai Sefuku album. If you're a fan of the songs Lost Ones Weeping, Hatu Sekai Sefuku, or Tokyo Teddy Bear, this is an album made perfectly for you. I have a bucketload of music that, Vocaloid or not, I could recommend, but perhaps that is a video for another time. No promises though. For both games, I've considered making a video for each or perhaps respective articles for Source Gaming, but I will make no promises once again about that. I find that treating the things I enjoy as promises and work-related tasks oftentimes makes me less excited to do them. However, I will say that I pretty much delved deep when it came to Nier Replicant, completing endings A through E all within a week. If you have the time, definitely give Replicant a full playthrough. It is a truly beautiful masterpiece within the medium. If you haven't yet played Automata, don't worry, Replicant is the first title, which was released originally on the PS3 and Xbox 360. Make sure you go in blind and just have fun. I've purchased both Replicant and Automata when they respectively released on Steam, but I also haven't played Automata, and while it isn't on my backlog for this year, I hope to play it again and grace my life with the world of Nier later this year. Anyways, once again, on to the third marked game on my list, this green dot indicating that I'm currently playing this title, and also the true subject matter of the video, Zone of the Enders HD Edition for PS3, specifically the first of the duology, Zone of the Enders. Now, I don't remember for sure when and where I got this game. It must have been a few years ago, likely 2, and possibly from my local video game store that I frequent, but I can't necessarily say for sure. However, what I can say for sure is that this game is charming in all the right ways. Zone of the Enders, as its catchline and the back of the box states, is a high-speed robot action game, or as the cool kids like to call it, mecha. Visually, the game features an always-present techno-green in both its futuristic space environment and UI, as you take to the skies and lands of towns on the colonized Jupiter to slash and shoot the shit out of your robotic oppositions. It's got some sick-ass mecha designs done by Yoji Shinkawa, best known for his works on titles like Left Alive, Fuun Bakumatsuden, and Metal Gear Solid. Its soundtrack features a combination of atmospheric techno alongside extra mundane tracks that are either somber or feel as if the world is calling upon you alone to do something, especially with its intro theme, Kiss Me Sunlights. The gameplay can be weird to adjust to at first, but once you get the hang of it, you'll truly become an excellent pilot who knows how to always be on the rising tide of battle. And finally, the voice acting and character models are
excellent. It is true.
Where some may take note of how primitive the characters look in this 2001 title in comparison to other CGI animated works like VeggieTales or Jimmy Neutron, or may feel the voice acting was laughable as of this one GameFAQs forum I found discussing it, I think both are incredibly charming. If anything, I almost feel like I'm doing this game a disservice by playing it on an HD TV. Both the voice acting and character models make me feel as if I should be playing this game sitting on the floor in front of a CRT, as if I'm delving into a late 90s mecha anime.
Viola.
Yes, sir.
All functions. You are correct. You did win.
Who are you?
Not again. I suggest you restrict yourself to your duties.
Unlike the Japanese cast that was made up of VAs that seem to still be prominent in the scene, ZOE's English cast is made up of voice actors that seem to either have had few other roles and was never heard from again, or this was their only role, which is amazing and also a shame given how good they are here. I guess the world wasn't ready to handle their talent beyond the mid-2000s. A big part of my choosing to play Zone of the Enders, especially at this point in my life, is because I currently needed my mecha fix. As one of my favorite games of all time, Daemon X Machina, had a sequel announced, and I currently do not have any money to indulge in a purchase of what would be my first Armored Core title, Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon, I needed to get the kind of high-speed mecha action from somewhere. Actually, I just remembered I bought Armored Core on PS3 PSN also about 2 years ago. Have to put that on the next bingo too. Speaking about the game a bit more, to progress you'll have to play as Leo, the accidental child pilot of this mecha known as Jehuty, and travel to different areas within Jupiter's space colony Antilia and guide it to Mars, all while fighting off an enemy force looking to secure the mecha orbital frame for themselves. Rather than a menu leading to each mission or task set for you to do, you'll find yourself flying over the colony with the ability to deploy in and out of different cities, factories, or towns to collect weapons, data keys, or to help civilians. It was within one of these missions at Town 2 on the Antilia that after destroying several squads of enemies, something very interesting caught my eye. I took Jehuty to the grounds, observed my surroundings, and came across this building. Hey, that kind of looks like Misato Katsuragi's apartment. Yeah, from all the things that could have been more interesting to me, the one thing that caught my interest so much was a few of the apartment buildings within the game that happened to be in a similar shape to the building that Misato, Shinji, and Asuka from Evangelion live in. And to be honest, I swear I've also seen this style of apartments in other anime as well. So I did some digging. Slanted Japanese apartment building. No results. Mecha apartment building. Also nothing. Okay, well someone must have stated a name or some sort of term for Misato's apartment. I searched Evangelion apartment building in Google Images and did get a result leading me to a Reddit post featuring every shot of the apartment, as well as a result about a few apartments that were decorated with various Evangelion imagery. They also happen to be pretty cheap. Weird. As for that aforementioned Reddit post, it's just an imgraphic with screen caps of the outside of Misato's apartment. No replies to it or anything. Now, at some point in my search, there were a few other things that I had found. The first being the floor plan to Misato's apartment on AvaGeeks, a webpage titled Mobile Suit Gundam 00 Places of Interest that happened to feature a kinda similar apartment complex, and at some point, I hoped that a Zone of the Enders wiki would provide me with some sort of help, only to discover a Zone of the Enders fan site that used to feature downloads of previous trailers, music, and other sorts of information for the dedicated Zone of the Ender fan. I'll link it in the description as I definitely think people should check it out as a somewhat no longer working but still present capsule of a likely now dormant franchise. This site not only turned my interest to soundtracks of Zone of the Enders, but also to the existence of both a film and anime series in collaboration with Sunrise, the animators for Gundam. Anyways, I've basically returned with 0 leads until I looked back at the results of my Google image search for Evangelion apartment buildings. There I noticed 2 other results and began to reconsider a previous result I got. The first new eye catcher was a diorama of Misato's apartment as part of a Small Worlds Miniature Museums at an Evangelion Tokyo 3 exhibit. On this page I not only got to take a look at miniature recreations of sites from NGE, but first and foremost, the referral of Misato's apartment being a condominium. The second result led me to Pinterest, where I saw concept art of the outside view of Misato's apartment complex. Although it was in Japanese, from what I could read and also now see is that it's not just the front of the condominium complex that is angled, but also the backside. Additionally, the drawing is titled Misato's Apartment Comfort 17 Mansion. Looking back at the floor plan that was on Eva Geeks, it also states that. This assumedly means that this is actually quite a wealthy living situation, which was unexpected given Misato's fridge stock. Now, upon looking up Comfort 17 Mansion, I just ended up being led back to Evangelion. This time of a recreation of Misato's condo in City Skylines. Not what I was looking for, but good work Steam users, City of Tokyo. So, then I tried narrowing my search more. Japanese condominium mansion, Japanese condominium, and Japanese slanted condominium. And out of those 3 searches, I finally found one photo that had not only one example of the kind of building I'm looking for, but 2. Leading me to a website called Design Boom. The first photo was focused primarily on the more uniquely designed apartment. However, right next to it was a more standard apartment building with an angled profile. So I tried one more search, thinking I finally narrowed down maybe what these buildings are called with a description of Japanese slanted profile condo in my Google image search. And I didn't get a single result that led me to what I was looking for. Thus, this is my call for help. If I have any Japanese viewers, anime fans, and architects, please show me more of these kind of buildings, and if you can, tell me what the hell these kind of condominiums are called. I just want to know because I swear I've seen them in so many more anime, and I just think they look really cool. I know this is a pretty long video for such a simple and kinda dumb ask, but I know I'm not crazy. I swear I've seen this before. And if you had something cool that you wanted to know more about, I'm sure you would ask some people too. So come on, entertain me just a little bit. I'm not crazy, you gotta believe me. Hey, it seems like you're still here. Thanks for that, truly. Thanks for sticking around and listening to me do a whole bunch of weird, nonsensical talking just for a style of apartment building. It's been a while since I've put out an edited video on this channel, and while I hope it can be an idea of more to come, but I'm not, once again, not gonna promise that, Pokemon Zeta 8 just got announced, and if I decide to talk about that, the style of video would be a whole lot different than this more conversational research video, however you want to call it. To be honest, just doing a video like this was inspired by another YouTuber by the name of Hazel. Definitely go check out her work. She's quickly become one of my favorite YouTubers discussing things that I love, like anime and video games styled after anime. I have no intention of like ripping her off or being a replacement to the kind of content that she creates. I think the videos that she makes are very inspiring, and it really fueled my passion for video making again. Of course, as I stated earlier from the video, I am very often busy with illustrating and doing game journalism work for Source Gaming. So definitely check out my work there, and if you want to see my art, subscribe for future speed paints and check out my socials. And if you really like my art, you can support my work by becoming a member of my Patreon. With the only one tier of $2, it not only gets you access to everything I post there and credits in future videos, but it will also give access to what I'm thinking could be draw requests, polls, and sales for whenever you're interested in commissioning me. Anyway, I'm done promoting myself. I was thinking about calling it shilling at first, but no. I'm actually really proud of the work that I've done and hope to continue growing for the rest of my life. Thank you again for sticking around, and I hope you have a great day.